Sight singing can be pretty intimidating, especially if you don't have a good strategy on how to approach it. I've been teaching music theory now for 10 years, and I have come up with a pretty good strategy on how to approach sight singing. This is not a beginning video, so if you're looking at this thinking, I've never done sight singing before, you probably want to check out some of my other videos where I'll go over the beginning parts of sight singing first and how to get started with it. But if you already have a pretty good grasp of sight singing, this video will just give you a good strategy on how to approach a new melody and how to get singing it correctly as quickly as possible. Okay, so I'm going to pop sight singing here up on the screen, and the first thing we would want to do is to figure out the key. We're going to take a look at the key signature and try and decide if this is major or minor and what the tonic is. So in this example, the key signature has 2 flats. That tells us that it's probably going to be either B flat major or G minor. If you already know your key signatures, this is a pretty easy thing to figure out because you probably already have it memorized. But if you don't, grab your chord clock and that will tell you the key. How do we know if it's B flat major or G minor? Well, most melodies are going to start and end on the tonic, or at least end on the tonic. So this melody both starts and ends on B flat. So we can safely assume that this is going to be B flat major. The next step is to figure out the range of this melody. We need to figure out the lowest note to the highest note that we're going to have to sing and what the solfege of those pitches are, or what the scale degrees of those pitches are. In this melody, the lowest note is going to be B flat or do, and the highest note in the melody is going to be la, or the 6th scale degree. Okay, now that we've figured out the range of this melody, the next step is to sing it. We want to sing a scale that goes from the bottom range to the top range. So if I'm in the key of B flat like this, and I want to sing up to la, I would start on B flat and I would sing up do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and then I would sing back down la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Starting at do, singing up to la, and I might do that a couple times. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. I would do it until I was comfortable with this scale and I knew that I could sing this anytime and be able to keep tonic in my head. Now you can sing an entire scale if you want. I choose not to because I don't have to sing all of those pitches, so I want to stick with just the pitches that I'm going to have to deal with this melody. But if you want to, go ahead. What's the harm? Sing the entire scale. You could go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. The next thing I would do is to write the solfege or the scale degree numbers underneath each note of the melody. I highly recommend that you don't skip this step. A lot of my students choose not to do this, and it usually doesn't go very well for them. Having those solfege or scale degree numbers written in underneath the melody helps you to catch some of your own mistakes. And if you happen to sing the wrong note or the wrong pitch, you can see right there on your page, this is supposed to be me, this is supposed to be scale degree number 3, or this is supposed to be so, this should be the 5th scale degree. And that's going to help you fix some of your own errors when you start singing through this melody. The next step is to clap or tap out the rhythm of the melody. And again, don't skip this step. It's really easy to think, oh, I'll get that. It's fine. The rhythm's easy. No big deal. But the problem is when you start singing the melody, you're so caught up in the pitches that you kind of forget that there's a rhythm that goes along with it. So I'm going to tell you right now, please, please clap out or tap out the melody first. Clap out that rhythm first, and then try and sing it. Okay, so now that you've laid out the groundwork, you've sung the scale, you know what key you're in, you've written in the solfege or the scale degrees, you've tapped out the rhythm so you know what you should be singing. The next thing you're going to do is sing it. You're just going to go for it, and you're going to try it out. So I'm going to sing this. My music's over there. Pardon me turning. Do, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, so, fa, mi, fa, sol, mi, re, do. As you sing, have your pencil out, be ready to mark the spots where you mess up. There might be a spot where you have a skip that's going to be harder, and that's okay. Just mark that into the melody and figure it out. Go back. Maybe sing through it a few times. For example, at the end, we have this skip that goes from so to mi, and then you step down to re. That might be a little tricky. So you might want to go, okay, my tonic here is do, do, re, mi. So that's the note I'm trying to get to. Mi, fa, so. But I'm going to have to go down. So I'm going to go so, fa, mi, so, fa, mi, so, mi, so, fa, mi, so, mi, re, do, mi, re, so, mi, re, do. And you might sing through that a couple times until it becomes really confident and really comfortable for you. Now, if you're getting to the end of the melody and you think, oh man, I totally lost my tonic, I have no idea where do is, that's okay. Stop. Find your pitch again, and it doesn't really matter where it is. If it didn't fit well into your range, change your tonic. It's okay. The idea is to get the melody down, and it doesn't really matter where it is. So if do is not working for me, I could change it to here and try that. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, so, fa, mi, re, do, and try singing it from that pitch. Now, once you have the melody down, or at least you think you do, don't stop. Sing it. Keep singing it. You got to keep singing it until it becomes really comfortable and really confident, especially if you're doing this for a class. If you're doing this for like the AP test or a college class or a high school theory class, you absolutely want to sing through it as many times as you can in the practice time they give you. Don't just sing through it once and feel like you've got it. You've got to do this several times. Now, when you're first learning sight singing, this may seem like overkill. You might think, do I really have to go through all of these steps? This is a lot of steps. But I'm going to tell you right now, yes, do it. Go through every single step, at least for the beginning here. For the first 6 months that you're learning sight singing, maybe even a year, you're going to want to go through each and every single one of these steps while you're approaching a sight singing melody, because these steps are going to eventually get ingrained in your head. The idea is you want to be able to look at a melody and sing it. You want to be able to hear it in your head, but that's going to take some time. You're going to develop that skill over time. And if you go through these steps one at a time, eventually your brain's just going to turn it into a natural process that you automatically do. And it's going to go a lot faster, and it's going to be a lot easier. If you're specifically preparing for the AP Music Theory test, they only give you 75 seconds to practice. That's not a whole lot of time, and that's okay. That's plenty of time to practice these melodies. You can still go through all the steps. You might get fast enough that you can start combining some of the steps, or go through a step so fast that it only takes you a second to do. But please go through all the steps and use all of your practice time. Sing that melody as many times as you possibly can before the time runs out. Lastly, don't give up. You can do this. I know sight singing is intimidating. You don't have to be a great singer. This is not really about singing. This really is about being able to look at a melody and hear it in your head. What matters is that you're developing your ear, you're learning new skills, and you're training yourself to listen to music and hear music in a different way. The same skills that I use for sight singing are also the skills I use as a conductor when I'm conducting my ensembles. If I'm not hearing what I see, then I need to fix something in my ensemble. This is also the same skill that I use as a composer when I'm trying to compose a new piece of music. Sight singing is the beginning of a skill that can help you in all aspects of music. If you want more ear training tips, or if you're just looking for more music theory things to watch today, check out some of my other videos, and of course, subscribe for more music theory pro tips.